The Thin Line by Hadiza Bagudu. If you enjoy this story, please like, share, and subscribe. Chapter 1. Mr. Usman finished marking the last test script for the day and put it away. He stretched and yawned. Outside the window, it was dark and quiet. It was 2 a.m. on the dot. He has been marking papers for over 3 hours and was very tired. The phone rang as he made to get up to bed. He went for the receiver lazily, wondering who it might be at this time of the night. Hello, Usman's residence. He spoke into the phone. Hello. Is that Usman? A voice answered back from the other line. It was very faint, probably a distant call. Yes, he answered. Who's on the line, please? He asked. Oh, Usman. The person sounded excited and emotional. It's me, Abubakar, calling from Kansas. Abubakar, he almost shouted. Wow, what a pleasant surprise, long-time brother. Yeah, it's been long. I cannot believe it is you. I miss you so much. Oh, do you? He asked with a little sarcasm. Is that why you forgot about us for so long? Oh, Usman. It is not like that. I tried calling you many times, but I never got you. So I thought you changed your number. He paused, then added, I wasn't sure I will even get you this time, but I am glad I did. It's okay, I am at fault too, you know. He giggled. Actually, my problem is the cost. You know it's very expensive, making international calls from here. Yeah, I know. Anyway, how are you and everybody over there in Nigeria? We are all fine. What about my son Ahmed? He asked. Ah, Ahmed is fine. Maulam Abubakar answered. Do you know that he is a doctor now? He just graduated from the university last month with a first-class degree. He added proudly. Wow. That is great. But I thought he just got admitted into med school. When did he graduate? You know here we spend less time in the university than they do over there in Nigeria. Yes, I know. I will love to do my PhD over there. Maulam Usman said. Great idea. Abubakar replied. So, Ahmed is a doctor, huh? Say a big congratulations to him for me, oh, said Usman, laughing. I will. Maulam Abubakar replied. My Abba just graduated from the university. He read electrical engineering. And he is waiting to be posted for the mandatory National Youth Service Corps stuff. Maulam Usman announced. That is great, said Maulam Abubakar. What about Sameera? Is she married? He asked. Ah. Girls nowadays don't marry on time, oh. She is fine. In fact, she is also in the university studying political science. Wow, that is great. He paused a little. And what about our wife? Hadiza is fine. In fact, she is upstairs sleeping. She slept off waiting for me to come to bed. I am glad you called, if not, I wouldn't know what excuse to give her. Do you know what time it is over here? Maulam Usman asked. Nope. Maulam Abubakar said, laughing. 2 a.m. And I am still in the study. She is going to kill me. Usman, you never change ABI? My brother, how I go do now? Usman replied and they both laughed. So, what about you? Have you gotten a wife for us yet? Not yet. He replied. Oh come on, Habu. It's been over 25 years. You cannot go on like this. I know, Usman. But we will talk about this later, okay? Why can't we talk about it now? Come on, Usman. Okay. Fine. He paused for a while before asking his friend what was really bothering him. Habu, I hope everything is well with you over there. Yes, everything is fine. It's just that I have retired and will be coming home soon. Really? He asked in surprise. You are really coming home? Yes. I miss home. I want to come back and settle down at home. Yes, I think that is a good idea. And we have missed you too. It's been so long. Yeah, it's been 14 years. That is a long time, and I thought, with Ahmed graduated, it's better we come back home and settle down. Maybe he will get a job with ABU teaching hospital. He paused and then added, it will do him a lot of good to come back home and learn about his people. He's becoming too westernized for my liking. I agree, said Usman, knowing what Abu Bakr meant by that statement. There was a little silence between them for a while, and then Abu Bakr said, I was thinking, now that my son is old enough to take care of himself, I think I can afford to relax. I have also written a book, he added. Well, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's your choice. Abu Bakr understood what he meant. Yes, I want to come back. He paused. I think I should come back now. I am glad. Usman said after a while. It's high time you came back home. Yeah. Now. So, when should we expect you? Usman asked him. I will come by next month, God willing. Probably by the 25th. Okay. We will be expecting you. Can you get me a house? Maybe a 3-bedroom flat. I will send down the money for it. Of course, my brother, I will, in fact anything. But it may take some time. No problem, we will stay in the hotel in the meantime. Haba Habu, while I am alive and still in KD, I will not allow you to do that. You are always welcome in my house. I wouldn't want to inconvenience you. Haba. My house is your house. What are friends for? Thank you very much. So, Habu, what about the wife issue? Usman inquired. Are we still talking about that? Maulam Abu Bakr said. Yes. I want to know. I guess this will be our first task by the time I get back home. So get your tact in place, because you will be doing the searching, Maulam Abu Bakr replied jokingly. Don't run away from this, Habu. Mr. Usman interjected. Bye. Say hi to my sweetheart. Maulam Abu Bakr said and hung up. The room was silent again. Maulam Usman gently placed the receiver back on the phone and began to think about his friend. Abu Bakr Aliu, his best friend. They were from the same neighborhood, somewhere in Anguwandosa, in Kaduna State. Their fathers were friends, and lived next door. And since Usman and Abu Bakr were about the same age, naturally, they played together. Growing up, they were inseparable. They went to the same primary school, secondary school, and polytechnic together. And finally, ended up becoming lecturers in Kaduna Polytechnic. While Usman's parents were from Zaria in Kaduna State. Abu Bakr's father was a Fulani man from Galola State and his mother a Shua Arab from Chad. That combination earned him his stunning looks, which he uses to his full advantage. He was a player to the fullest. Girls were tripping over each other just to get noticed by them. He was smooth, charming, and naughty, armed with a great physique, a beautiful face, and a smile that could melt the most stubborn of hearts. He was a ladies' man. Yes, he knew how to get the ladies. He knew just what to say to a girl at the right time that will make her fall for him in an instant. Because of that, he can afford to change girlfriends the way he changes his shirts. All he needs to do is to smile at a girl, and the next thing you know, she is drooling all over him. He was also smart and very intelligent. And that is why it wasn't surprising that he ended up as a lecturer. Some people seem to have it all made. After graduation, they both got jobs as lecturers in the Polytechnic at the same time and in the same department. Of course, there were a lot of girls in the school. And Abubakar continued his playing until the day he suddenly, without any warning, fell head over heels in love with one of his students, called Binta. Now, Usman always thought that the girl Abubakar will fall in love with, if that was even possible, will be some extraordinary kind of girl. She must be more beautiful than a mermaid and must have a lot of class. She should also be brainy and probably from a very wealthy family. A character that can be found only in novels. But Binta was just an ordinary shy girl. She was neither extraordinary nor from a rich family. A typical girl next door. But somehow, she manages to bring his friend down to his knees. Abubakar was crazy about her. And just after 6 months of courtship, he decided to tie the knot with her and make it official. She introduced her own cousin, Hadiza, to Usman. And as if by plan, they also fell in love. So, they all decided to get married at the same time, thereby waxing their friendship even stronger. Their wives got pregnant at the same time. Almost as if they planned it. Maybe they did. Hadiza was the first to give birth to a bouncing baby boy, which she named after her husband, as it is with the Hausa custom. So, they call him Abba as a sign of respect. A week later, Binta also gave birth to a baby boy, which they later named Ahmed. But, she had some complications at birth and died. Abubakar was devastated. A part of him died along with his wife, and he knows he will never recover from it. Usman did his best to help his friend. His wife, Hadiza, helped take care of Ahmed while he tried his best to get his friend to marry again, but with no success. 10 years later, he was still not married. His friends were worried. It is not ideal in the Hausa culture for a man to stay unmarried, especially if he was once married. As the years went by, they tried to fix him up with girls. His parents and relatives were also not left out of the matchmaking game. All their efforts did not yield any positive result. When his son Ahmed was 12 years old, he applied for a postgraduate degree and a lecturing job abroad, and he got both. Therefore, he took his son and left. That was 14 years ago. They had been communicating on the phone for a while, but 2 years ago they suddenly stopped. He was a bit worried about him, but he is glad that everything is fine. More so now that he is coming home. That is a good sign, thought Usman. He looked up at the wall clock. The short arm was on 2 while the long arm was on 47. Oh my God, he said silently as he realized how late it was. Hadiza is going to kill me. He quickly got up and went upstairs. He opened the bedroom door gently, revealing his wife subtly lying on the king-size bed, beautifully wrapped in a pink nightgown, the lights exposing her smooth skin under the silky gown. She still looks fresh and sweet, 26 years after. Suddenly it came to him, the date rang in his head. It was their wedding anniversary. Damn, he swore silently to himself. She will never forgive me for this. She looked so innocent now that she is asleep, but he dreads her trouble. He changed into his pajamas, slipped quietly beside her into the bed, and turned off the bedside lamp. The beautiful Saharan sun was already up and high in the sky by the time Usman woke up. The window was left wide open and the sun rays were slowly basking his face. A revenge move by Hadiza, perhaps. He checked the bedside clock and it was 8:30 a.m. He will definitely be late for work. But then, as the head of the department, he was invincible. Memories of the previous night came flooding back to him at once. So he jumped off the bed and headed down towards the kitchen to give his wife the good news. As he approached the kitchen, he could perceive the delicious smell of masa, his favorite, and the aroma of coffee. He stopped at the door and peeped in. His wife was moving up and down the kitchen in a familiar pattern of making breakfast. Hey, pretty woman. Happy anniversary, sweetheart. What are you cooking? he sang and walked in with a little dance. She did not answer. So he walked to her and gave her a peck on the cheek. "Good morning, sweetie," he said again. "Up already?" she asked without looking back. Obviously, she was angry. "Come on, honey, give me a break. I had to stay up to mark all those papers," he said, turning her round to face him and lowering the stove. "You know I wasted time and I have to submit the results today," he added, trying to make her see things from his own point of view. "MHM, another excuse for sleeping off in your study again. Maybe you should just move in there." "Hey, I am sorry. I will make it up to you, okay?" He planted a kiss on her lips, and she smiled. "It was our anniversary," she said, obviously very unhappy. "I know. I am really sorry about that." "Okay, last warning," she said. "I have news that will make you smile." "I wonder what that would be," she said, turning round to continue frying. "Guess." "No, I can't," she started, then, with a mischievous smile on her face, she said, "You are going to quit your job and pay more attention to me." "I will work on that." "But another guess." "I wonder what that would be," she said, turning round to continue frying. "The head of state gave you a call last night." "Close, but it was somebody better than Mr. President." "Wow, who was that?" She now seemed interested. "I'll give you 3 guesses," he said, going to sit at the kitchen dining table. "Oh, come on." "Okay, it's Abubakar Aliyu, from the US. "Who?" she asked, then she remembers. "Oh, Baba Ahmed," she said, excited. "Really? How is he?" "How is Ahmed?" "Oh, they are fine. He told me that they will be coming back home permanently." "Can you believe it?" "Haba. When?" "Sometime next month, I think." "Oh, I can't wait to see my son Ahmed. He must be all grown up by now," she said, going over to serve him a plate of masa. "He just graduated from medical school. He is now a doctor." "Ah. My son, a doctor. Wow. I am so happy for him." She paused and seems to think for a while. "But wait, how come?" "They were in the same class with Abba, and he is still in the university." "I know. Their educational system over there is wonderful. I am impressed by the speed and efficiency. Plus there are no strikes over there." "Yeah. I love strikes. That is the only time I get to see you," she said. "Honey," Maulam Usman protested. "It's true now. At least strikes would keep you home for me," she replied. "But wait, you said they will be coming home?" "Yes, and it's final. He has retired, and with Ahmed now a doctor, he can afford to come home and relax. NMHMN, I think he is doing the right thing," she said. "I think it will even do the boy some good if he comes home to Nigeria. He doesn't know his people at all." "Yes. I think so too." They were silent for a while. Then Abba walked in. "Good morning, folks," he said, going to kiss his mum. "Good morning to you too, baby," answered Hadiza. "What's up, Pops?" he said to his dad. "Yesterday it was yo. Today it is what's up? Come on, Dad, lighten up. You got to be part of the 21st century." "Abba," Hadiza cuts in. "Apologize and greet your dad properly." "Sorry, Dad, good morning." He apologized. "But you have to come along into the new millennium, oh," he said, suckling. Mr. Usman smiled and nodded his head. "Guess what, baby?" began Hadiza as her son joins his father on the dining table. Your friend Ahmed and his dad will be coming home next month. Wow. That's great. He exclaimed. Yeah, I was telling your father the same thing. I wonder what Ahmed looks like now. He said, looking up at the ceiling. Can you believe he is now a doctor? Ihan? A doctor? Yes, a doctor, answered his father. Yes, and I have not even served. Damn. No, Abba. No swearing, said his mother. Sorry, Mum, but do you think it's fair? Abba started again and continued, turning to his father. Dad, why didn't you people send me to the US too? I would have been a master's degree holder by now. Oh, hard luck. You got the wrong dad. His father returned jokingly. Anyway, Hadiza began, we have to start preparing to receive them, or are they not going to stay here? They are. I have discussed it with him. He told me to look for a place for him, but in the meantime, let them stay in here. This will even give us the time to get to make up for the lost years. That's okay. There is enough room here. He can take the guest room, while Ahmed will share Abba's room. You don't mind, do you, dear? She turned round to ask her son. No, I think it will be wonderful to have him in my room. It will give us the opportunity to catch up on old times. NMHN, and to do all sorts of mischievous things together too, added his mum. No, Mum, you know I am a saint. Tell me something I don't know, she said, and they all burst out laughing. Later that morning, as Mr. Usman drove to work, he stopped at the post office to pick up his mails. And just as he expected, one was from his daughter Sameera. Needing money, I am sure, he thought aloud. He just sent her N5,000 2 weeks ago, and he is sure that she wants more. Girls, how they spend baffles him. Makeup, clothes, toys, snacks, and all sorts of rubbish. Anyway, if he did not give her, he is sure she is going to find other means of getting it, and he does not want that. He dropped them on the dashboard and drove towards the school. Chapter 2. Usman and his son watched as Hadiza ran back and forth, trying to make the house look better. It is a week to the arrival of the Abuba cars, and Hadiza was slowly losing her mind. He called twice after the first time to inform them of the date of their arrival, and Hadiza is tensed up. Trying to be the best host she can be. The previous day, they went to the market to shop for foodstuff, which she will make a special dish for their guest. She had cleaned the house about 5 times already, and was making a lot of changes. An extra bed was also added to Abba's room for the guest. 1 or 2 new furniture was added to the living room. New green curtains were put up and matching throw pillows were added to the sofa to revamp the room. Unfortunately, they didn't match the carpet. So she changed the carpet too. Then that didn't match the chairs, so she ended up changing everything in the living room. Still not satisfied, she keeps asking him if this fits or that fits. Flowers of different bloom were also added to the decor of the room to add freshness. After that, she tried pottery. Usman and Abba tried to help, but she didn't make it easy for them. First she wanted their help, but when they helped, she complained that they were doing it all wrong. She seems to have a certain procedure, which they can't understand. So they only observe and comment. Do you think the vase is too much? She asked. The vase is fine, honey, her husband replied. What about the rugs? Does it go with the curtains? Yes, honey, you have excellent taste. They are not coming to inspect the house, are they, Dad? Abba asked his father. More of a statement than a question. Do you think we should knock down that wall? She asked. No, father and son replied in unison. Okay already, she said. It's not like I am asking you to build a new house. I just thought it would be worth a shot. You know. Honey, relax. Usman said gently, walking towards his wife and turning her around to face him while cupping her face. You don't need to do all that. They are our friends, and I am sure that they will just be so glad to see us that they won't even notice all these things. Believe me, all they want to do is come back home. They won't care if the throw pillows don't match anything in the room. He quickly stopped, hoping that she did not catch the last thing he said. What? She looked disappointed. I didn't say anything. He lied. I knew it. You guys were not totally honest with me. Come on, honey. The pillows are fine. Everything is fine. Let's just pray for their safe arrival, okay? He pleaded with her. I am sorry, honey. I didn't mean to be such a pain. I just want things to be perfect when they come, she said, turning round to face her husband. They won't even notice, he said, holding her close to him. All they care about is being back home and seeing us. All right. I am sorry. She apologized. I guess I am being paranoid. I am really nervous about their coming. Me too. We all are. Let's pray that they get here safely. Okay? Okay. Amen. She replied. I am going to get something from my office. I'll be back in an hour's time. Bye. Bye. She kissed him, and he left. Meanwhile, she continued to clean dust and arrange. She thought about the Abubakars and how she missed Binta, Abubakar's wife, her cousin and friend. They were so close, and that is because of the way their husbands were then, and not just because they were cousins. In addition, when Binta died, she took care of Ahmed as if he was her son. He grew up together with her Abba like brothers. They went to the same schools, wore similar clothes, and did everything together. She wasn't happy they left, and for so long too. That is why she is so excited about their arrival. I swear I am going to leave without you too, shouted Mr. Usman from the car. It was the D-Day, and they were getting ready to go and receive the Abubakars at the airport. The plane was due to arrive at 6:30 p.m. It is already 6 p.m., the airport is about 40 minutes drive, and they were yet to leave the house thanks to his wife and son, who liked to waste time in dressing up as if they were going for a beauty contest. He pressed the horn impatiently, and his wife came out of the house trying to tie her head tie, while her son follows her behind, holding her handbag and veil. I cannot believe this. You are still not ready. What have you been doing? He said, surprised and angry at the same time. Let's go, she said, opening the rear door and entering to sit beside her husband, while Abba started the engine and drove them to the airport. An hour and a half later, they were at the airport and the plane is yet to arrive. I told you there was no need for all that rush, Hadiza said to her husband as they waited at the lounge. They said 6:30 p.m. He replied. African time, baby, she said, laughing. She knows her husband is pissed. Well, it's better to be early. We wouldn't want them to come here and wait for us now, would we? Just then, there was an announcement that the Nigerian Airways Flight 744 Lagos to Kaduna has just landed. They immediately became excited. They have been waiting for that plane. The Abubakars are to stop at Lagos first, because the Air France only stops at Lagos International Airport. Then they will take the evening flight to Kaduna from there. I just can't wait to see them, Abba said. Me too, his mother replied. "5 minutes later, the passengers started trooping into the arrival area. Usman and his family craned their necks in order to see through the crowd. Maulam Usman was the first to see his friend. Habu. Over here, he shouted. Usman. Abubakar shouted back. And walked in a hurry towards them. He hasn't changed much. Dressed in a gray suit, he still looked as devilishly handsome as he did 14 years ago. Although, he has put on a little weight and spotted a few gray hairs on his head, which by the way, gave him a matured and even more sophisticated look. Habu. Maulam Usman said, hugging him, with tears in his eyes. So I get to see you again, before I die. God is great. I missed you too, Usman. He replied, with tears in his eyes also. It's been so long. How are you, my friend? He spoke with a slight American accent. I am fine. And you? I am doing great. He replied. Turning to Hadiza, he said. Usman, who is this lovely lady, and what is she doing with you? Ah. Hadiza said. Don't you recognize your own sweetheart again? Darling, is this you? I can't believe this. He said. You are still as beautiful as the last time I saw you. But you shouldn't stand next to this old man. Ugh. He said, making a face. Yeah, I know. I am glad you are back, so I can finally ditch him, she said in a whisper. Who is old? Usman said, pretending to be angry. A fine young man like me. Full of life and vigor. Yeah, right. They both said. Plus, I am rich, too, you know. He added, and they all laughed. Turning to Abba, he asked. And who is this handsome young man? It's me, uncle. You are welcome. Abba replied. And they hugged. Wow. You have grown so big. I cannot believe this. I wonder who is taller between you and Ahmed. By the way, where is he? Hadiza asked. Oh, he is taking care of the luggage. Abubakar replied. Just then, Ahmed appeared, pushing a trolley full of suitcases. Dressed in a brown blazer and black trousers, he looked every inch like his father. Although, he was much lighter in complexion, you could easily mistake him for Abubakar if you knew him a few years ago. Hi. He said shyly. My baby. Hadiza said. Hugging him. Look at you. You have grown so big and handsome, just like your father. Oh, stop. Abubakar said, waving his hand and pretending to be coy. Auntie. Ahmed said, shyly. I missed you. How are you? I am fine, my son. You remember your uncle and friend? Yes. He said, hugging them one after the other. HMN, Dr. Ahmed. Usman said. Congratulations, my son, your father told me. Thank you, uncle. They both said. Congrats, doctor. Abba said. And they shook hands. Thanks, engineer. He replied, and they both laughed. Well, Usman said, after a while. We should get going now. I am sure you are both tired and hungry. Ah. You have no idea. I couldn't eat the food they served us on the plane. Abubakar replied. And they walked out of the arrival area towards the car. Wow, it's hot here, exclaimed Ahmed. Welcome to Nigeria. His father said, and they all laughed. At home, Mrs. Usman served them pounded yam and vegetable soup with beef, just as she remembered Abubakar liked. And he didn't disappoint her as he ate and ate. Oh my God, I missed this. He said. And they all laughed. Ahmed, on the other hand, was having a little difficulty with his own plate, so Hadiza, knowing this, had prepared a separate fried rice and chicken for him and kept it aside, just in case. There you go, honey. She said. Try this. Oh, thanks, you shouldn't have. He said. No, no, she replied. I imagined you would not be able to eat the pounded yam, as you are not used to it. So, I made this for you. Well, he better start learning. Because we are going to be here, for good, said Abu Bakr. I am sure he will, in time, Hadiza replied. So, Habu, Usman asked. You said you wrote a book? What's it about? Oh, yes, the book, he replied. It's about the emerging impact of non-state actors in the international system. Took me about a year to write. But I had a great time. And also, great reviews. Wow, that's lovely. Taking them one after the other. Thanks. I have brought copies for you. I will like to hear your opinion, Abu Bakr said, laughing nervously. Thanks. But I am sure it's great. I have always known you to have the gift of writing. It's just that you never took it seriously and tried putting something down. Thank God you came to your senses now, Usman said, and they all laughed. I will also like to open a supermarket here, to earn some extra income, as I don't think I will want to make a living from writing, Abu Bakr said. And I am not going back to lecturing either. But Dad, we have talked about this, Ahmed said, looking upset. I have a good job, and I will take care of you. I know, son, but you will get married someday, and have your own family. I don't want to be a burden to you. You can never be a burden to me. You are my father. I know, son, Abu Bakr replied. I just like providing for myself. That's all. Usman noticed that Ahmed is looking really upset, so he tried to break the ice. You know, son, you should know by now that your father is a very stubborn man. Once he makes up his mind about something, you can't change it. Yeah. Stubborn and proud, Hadiza added. And everybody laughed. Anyway, Usman said. Ahmed, have you made up your mind about where you want to practice? Yes, uncle. I was thinking of working with ABU Teaching Hospital. I heard that it is a very good place to work. Yes, it is. What is your area of expertise? Hadiza asked. Pediatrics, answered Ahmed. Oh, that's lovely, Usman said. And you are in luck. I happen to know the medical chief there at the hospital. I will talk to him about getting you a job there. And with your qualifications, I don't think that will be a problem.
Problem. Thank you very much, uncle, Ahmed said. Thanks, Manu. His father also joined in. Oh, no problem. Ahmed is my son too. Yeah, he is, Abu Bakr said. Ina. Ahmed said, after a little while turning to Hadiza. Where is Sameera? He asked, referring to Hadiza's second child. Abba's younger sister. Ah, you noticed your wife is not around, huh? Hadiza replied. She is at school. They are writing a lot of tests, so she could not come to welcome you guys. But she sends her love. Wow. Abu Bakr said. These kids have all grown so fast. It seems like just yesterday, I was carrying her on my lap. Now she is in the university. Her final year too, Abba announced. Wow. This is amazing, said Abu Bakr. Is she still fat? Asked Ahmed. And they all laughed again. Well, I will leave that for you to guess, but we will all go visit her tomorrow, how about that? Replied Hadiza. I can't wait, he said. After dinner, the boys went to their room to catch up on the past. Hadiza is in the kitchen doing the dishes, while Malam Abubakar and his friend went to the balcony to talk. So, hey you. Malam Usman started. I see you are still single. Ah, I see you noticed, replied Malam Abubakar. Come on Habu, this is not good for you. Even tradition and religion are against this. You know staying single opens the door to all manner of temptation. I know, Manu. I am trying. How, exactly? Malam Usman said. Are you telling me that you could not find one good woman in the whole of America, in all these years? My God, how did you manage to raise this boy on your own? Well, I had a nanny. Okay, so, the nanny. Oh, she is 60 years old. Malam Abubakar cut him, before he could finish his sentence. Fine. But are there no women at your place of work, or the library or something? I mean, anywhere. Haba Usman, common. I will when the right person shows up. Okay. Okay. As you like. Malam Usman said, disappointed. But just know that I am only bugging you so much because I care about you. I know, I am sorry. It's just that it's so hard. You know. Malam Abubakar said. I know. Malam Usman said, rubbing him on the back, and feeling sorry for his friend. I want you to know that I and my family will always be there for you and Ahmed. Okay. Okay. Replied Malam Abubakar. So, Ahmed, do you have any white girlfriend? Abba asked Ahmed. It was 11:30 p.m. and they were up in their room and gisting for more than 2 hours. They had so much to catch up on. No, not really. Ahmed replied. I don't really fancy white chicks. Really? Abba asked in surprise. Are they not pretty? Or is it true that there is still a lot of racism in America? No, it's not that, really. Actually, I have dated white girls before, but for a serious relationship, I will prefer my own kind. Me too. Abba replied. Are you in one now? I mean a relationship. He noticed that Ahmed flinched a bit, before replying. Nope. Still single and searching. At that moment, his mother yelled from outside the door, for him to allow Ahmed sleep, as she imagined he must be very tired. So, they lowered their voices. What about you? Ahmed asked. Do you have anyone serious? Well, yes. There is this girl I am seeing now. Her name is Mariam. She is from Zaria, we met at school. And I hope to marry her after my service year. Wow, that is good. Yeah, I know. I really love her. Abba said. And I can't wait to get married to her. Does she work? Ahmed asked. No, she just finished from ABU. She read geography. But she is still waiting to be called to service. That's why I want to marry her in time. So she will be posted to Kaduna, where her husband resides. Don't you want to work for some time first and save some money? I mean, where are you going to live and stuff? Marriage is a lot of responsibility, you know. I know. But I have been saving some money from the part-time job that I was doing, and I also have a job waiting for me in a chemical factory. I did my industrial training there and they promised to hire me there as a permanent staff after I graduate. And as for a house, well, I will rent an apartment, where we will live before I save enough money to build our own house. And she will work too. So we will be fine. Wow. Ahmed said. I really admire your courage. I wish I was that flexible. What are you talking about? You have a great job. All you should be worried about is finding the right girl. And that's it? Yes, Abba. It's that simple, I know. For about a minute, Abba noticed that Ahmed seems unhappy. Chapter 3. I wonder what Sameera will look like by now, thought Ahmed, as they waited for her in the girls' hostel common room. It was the next day, after they arrived in Nigeria and the whole family has gone to visit her in school. They were all excited. He imagined she has gained over 150 pounds by now, because she used to be such a fat child. He recalled bullying her when they were kids because of her weight. She was so fat that she finds it hard to run and play, like other kids her age. She was always, either crying or eating. She used to be so scared of him. He finds pleasure in harassing her then, calling her all sorts of names, like, Fatty Bomb Bomb, Chocolate Teddy and so on. Abba did not mind, because they were pals. What is keeping her so long, complained Malam Usman, as she was taking so long to come out to meet them. You know women now, they have to paint and primp before coming out, said Malam Abu Bakr. What is that? Hadiza cuts in. You men are always complaining that women are slow, but what about you? Some men are much slower than women. They all laughed. Ahmed was about to say something when suddenly the common room door flung opened. He looked up and time stood still. Behold, there she was, a cute little damsel. In a blue kaftan and trouser, Indian style, which was complemented by a figure that could break necks. White sandals on her feet and a matching white veil covering her head, revealing her cute face, was oval. Her eyes, big, round, and graced the face like two full moons on a clear night sky. She has full pouted lips, which were beautifully pink. A small pointed nose and rosy cheeks gave her a sweet and innocent look, which make his heart miss a beat. Daddy, he heard her scream, and then run towards them, throwing herself on Malam Usman. Hey sweetheart, he said, trying to prevent himself from falling. How are you? I am fine, Daddy. Hi Mummy, she said, going to hug her mum and then Abba. Then she turned and looked at Malam Abu Bakr and Ahmed. Good afternoon, Abu Bakr answered, but Ahmed just kept on staring at her. Don't you recognize him? Her father asked, as she looked from Ahmed to his father, trying to recall their familiar faces. Common. It's your favorite uncle, her father said, offering her a clue. Uncle Abu Bakr, she screamed, hugging him again. It's you. I am surprised that my own wife couldn't recognize me, Malam Abu Bakr said, shaking his head. No, now, darling, she said playfully. You know, Jans have changed you a lot. You are looking very handsome. I am sure you did not see the gray hairs, said Malam Usman, and everybody laughed. No, look at me very well, I am still strong and vibrant. This hair is just fashion. She said, and they all laughed except Ahmed. Abu Bakr noticed that. Don't you recognize your brother, Ahmed? Oh, Ahmed. Hi. Hi. He couldn't recognize his own voice. Wow, you've changed a lot, I couldn't recognize you. Yeah, he said, clearing his voice. I couldn't recognize you too. You've grown so big. Yeah, now you won't be able to bully me anymore, she said, clenching her fist and frowning. That made them all laugh. In the 3 hours they spent with her in the common room, Ahmed said very little and only talked when he was talked to. He could not stop looking at and admiring Sameera. He kept wondering how that fat ugly girl he used to know some years back could metamorphose into this epitome of beauty. Hadiza noticed it, but only smiled and didn't say anything. She understood what was going on with him. On their way back, Usman asked him what was wrong. He said he was having a headache, so they stopped at a drugstore and bought him analgesic. After dinner that night, the men went out to the balcony to talk. Hadiza went straight to bed after cleaning up and the boys went up to their room. Are you okay? Abba asked Ahmed. He has been observing him since they left the university. What do you mean? I am fine. You have been very quiet since we left Sameera today and you ate very little. Oh, I was feeling a little feverish, I guess it has to do with the change of environment. He said, trying to pretend. No, something is wrong with you men. You can tell me. Okay. But you have to promise not to be mad at me. Ahmed said. Oh. It's that serious? Kind of. Okay. Tell me. Abba said. Ahmed clears his throat. It's Sameera. When I saw her, okay. This is so embarrassing, I'm sorry but. You mean you are in love with my sister? Abba interrupted him. Well, I think so. I don't know, you see, it's just that, he stammered. Abba did not say anything. Maybe I shouldn't. No, it's okay. Abba said. Really? Are you sure? Ahmed asked in surprise. He had imagined Abba biting his head off. Well, right now, I know she doesn't have any boyfriend. And if I am to recommend anybody for her, definitely you will top the chart. And you know we are kind of one big family, more or less. I believe even our parents will agree to that. Wow. Thanks. He said with relief. But, I hope that this is a serious thing. I mean, she is my sister, you know. I don't want you to be messing with her. Abba said, with a note of warning in his voice. Man, you should know that I am serious. I don't think I have ever felt the way that I feel today. And I just hope that she will not turn me down. Well, that is between you two. Yeah. Thanks, man. Good night. Ahmed said. Lying down to sleep. Good night. Abba replied. All sorts of thoughts ran through Ahmed's mind as he waited for Sameera in Amina Hall's common room. It was the day after they came to visit her and he was sure that she will be very surprised to see him. He just wondered how she was going to react. Will she be happy, shy, or will she get mad at him and tell him to get the hell out of there? He wished he didn't turn down Abba's offer to come with him for moral support. He didn't realize how scary it was going to be. Ahmed. Sameera said in surprise. What are you doing here? Is everything okay at home? He was so deep in thought that he didn't notice her come into the common room. Hi. Oh yes. Everything is fine. He replied. I just came to see you. Hope you don't mind. Oh, no. Not at all. She replied, beginning to understand what is going on. Come over here and have a seat. She said, motioning him to a seat, and taking another one by his side. There was a little awkward silence for a while, and then she spoke first. How is everybody at home? Oh, they are fine. He replied. But they didn't know I was coming here, so they didn't send you their greetings. Sorry. No problem. I write to them every week, and we speak on the phone every day. So, she smiled and he smiled back. How did you get here, by the way? She asked. Abba is at work, so I borrowed his car to move around. He replied. You came here by yourself? Wow, how did you not get lost? Oh, it is easy. I was observing everything, when we were coming here yesterday. Plus, it is really a very straight road, anyway. Wow. She said with a little shrug. That was smart of you. Thanks. He said, feeling good about himself. A compliment means he is making progress. There was the silence again, and then he spoke. So, Uncle told me that you are writing tests. How was it? Hope it's not too hard. Well, you know, I studied hard and prayed very well. So, I am not scared at all. Good for you. He said. Hope you pass them very well. Thanks. she said. He speaks with a very strong American accent and she had to strain her ears to get what he is saying. In fact, he had to repeat some words, for her to understand him. So, political science, huh? Will you join the politics when you graduate? Maybe I am looking at the next Nigerian president. She laughed. No. God no. I don't intend to do politics. I am not really cut out for that kind of stuff. But that is what you are studying. Yeah, she said. But I can work in other places, like foreign embassies, ministries, and so many places. It is a very flexible course. Not like yours, doctor. He noticed the sarcasm in her voice and smiled. I hope you get a good job where you will not be stressed at all, he said. Why do guys keep saying that? Okay, just because I am a woman, you all think I can't handle stress, huh? That is so sexist. Guys. He thought. Is there someone else? Please let there be no one else. He though. No, that's not what I mean. He said. Okay, what do you mean? She asked, looking him in the eyes. I just want you to have a good job, one that you will enjoy very much and that will pay well, that's all. I am sorry, I overreacted. It's just that our guys here are mostly chauvinists. So we constantly have to prove ourselves. She apologized. No problem. I also grew up in a place where I have to put in extra in order to get attention, just because I am black. She smiled. They talked for a while, with him still repeating words. He went further to tell her that he will soon get a job at ABU teaching hospital, and she said it is good, as she will get to see him every day. Of course, he is even happier because, seeing her every day, will mean a plus to their emerging relationship. Afterwards, she walked him to the car and he took her number and promised to call before leaving. Wow. Who was that? Sameera heard a familiar voice ask, as she was about to enter the girls' hostel, so she turned around and saw her friend. Oh, hi Asabi. She said. Did you see me with him? Yeah, and he is so gorgeous. Asabi said. Giggling. Yes, he is. And he is my, well, Sameera stammered. Well, what? Asabi was impatient. His dad and mine are very close friends. Oh. So how come I have never seen him before? Well, he just got back from America. That's where he grew up, you know. Really? Wow, I approve. Well, he didn't ask me out. What? What was he doing here then? Asabi asked Sameera, looking kind of confused. He said he only came to see how I was doing. Story? Did you see the way he was looking at you? Believe me, I know what that kind of stare mean, the guy is in love. Really? You really think so? Sameera asked. Even though she knows it's true. Yeah. He is totally into you. And believe me, he is so okay. Well, I don't know. You don't? Can I have him then? Asabi teased. I don't mind. And what becomes of Sani? Sameera teased back, referring to her friend's fiancé. You can have him, believe me. She replied. And they both started laughing. Ah, Abego. I know day for Wahala. Sameera said between laughter, as they walk into the hostel together. In the next 2 weeks, Ahmed visited Sameera a total of 10 times. And each time, they talked, visited relatives of the Usman family and generally had fun. Their relationship also seems to wax stronger by each visit. In the meantime, Abu Bakr's house was ready, so they moved in. Later, Ahmed also got a job at a booth. So, it even became easier for him to see Sameera, since it means he will have to come to Zaria every day. She observed him. There was something about Ahmed